So this video goes hand in hand with the video I made a few hours ago. It's no surprise that Uber and Lyft are tapping into the ad business now that Lyft and Uber have announced that they have a whole new media arm, sort of a company within the company that will address advertising and monetize that by collecting the data. They are now exploring new ways to show their investors, hey, this is how we have figured out how to make a boatload of money. This is how we are going to present it. Now, you, the driver, will definitely be a part of their system selling these ads, right? May it be in your vehicle or may it be on the passenger's phone. Obviously, there are many ways that these companies are going to start presenting the advertising. The rideshare giants have captive audiences who are either looking at their devices while being carted around or sitting in cars that have ample room for digital advertisements, right? So they want to put either those digital advertisements in your vehicle or on top of your vehicle. Obviously, this has to make sense for you, right? It has to make money. Question is, if you have something like this on, can you get into certain garages and under, subterranean, those like underground garages? I'm sure they've thought this out, right? But let's jump right in. Making money by connecting users to rides is a notoriously tough business. Uber and Lyft are losing loads of cash each quarter. When the companies were flooded with venture capital funding in the first few years of operation, that wasn't much of an issue. Thanks to VC funding, Uber and Lyft were able to offer the users extremely low rates while also paying their drivers. Those funds, my friends, have run out. Now they are facing the big problems. Then they went public. Lyft made its market debut in March 2019. Uber followed with an initial public offering that May. Those IPOs meant that the two companies now had to prove to investors they possessed viable business models and could turn a profit. That's where advertising comes in. And notice, back to back, Uber and Lyft are pushing this in the media. They're doing press releases. Last week, Lyft announced the creation of Lyft Media, its advertising arm. Lyft, which acquired a company in 2019 that makes monitors to run digital ads atop of cars, is looking to sell ad space on in-car tablets that riders use, on digital display panels and its bike docking stations. And through in-app sponsorships, Lyft will be competing against Uber, which entered the ad business in 2019 and sells ads through both its primary app and Uber Eats, as well as offering ad displays on top of its cars. Now, crazy little diversion here. But when it comes to carjackings, my question to you, if you have one of these ad spaces on top of your roof, that should be a deterrent, right? It should be a deterrent to the carjacker, because if you leave in that vehicle, if you steal that vehicle, it is extremely hard to find. And obviously it takes more than just a couple of seconds removing that ad from the top. So I believe this would deter carjackers, the only positive that I can see. And hopefully you make some decent money through this, right? That Lyft and Uber are both putting so many resources into advertising suggests the companies are entering a new phase in their path to profitability. We've seen rideshares go from just rideshare to the likes of Uber Eats and delivery mechanisms to now maybe delivering beyond just food. Managing director and founder of Comcast Venture Group, Forecast Labs, tells Fast Company. But there are only so many things you can do with delivery. The question is, how do you then create the next billion-dollar revenue stream for the business that would leverage the assets and capabilities of the existing business? For the two largest US rideshare companies, the answer appears to be advertising. It makes sense considering millions of users are looking at their phones when they book trips. Uber and Lyft have captive audiences in their riders who are either looking at their devices while being carted around or sitting in cars that have ample room for digital advertisements. Essentially, it's a why not use it situation. Head of mobile insights at mobile app market intelligence firm Sensor Tower. It also helps the two companies have unique access to their users. Uber and Lyft could boast to advertisers that they have the capability to target ads to certain customers based on things like travel history or food orders. They probably know a little about the person, and they can get more data access and try to make them a little bit more sophisticated than your general taxi cab advertising. Let's just say hypothetically, they know who's going to get in the car, right? And they start running ads on top of the car as the driver arrives, right? That would trigger, impulses and maybe, hunger impulses, and the guy goes and orders a specific dish an hour later, right? But they have all that data on the individual who's about to get in the car. They just have to present it on top of the car as he or she enters, right? This could be an extremely lucrative opportunity for the rideshare giants. Uber's ad division generated 141 million in revenue in 2021, up from 11 million in 2020. Uber executive Mark Rether said in Investor Day earlier that this year the company could reach 1 billion in ad revenue by 2024. Lyft hasn't commented on what it expects from ad revenue with its new unit. The generation coming into their prime as consumers has notably different views on current day advertising. So advertisers are reworking their strategies to connect with them. And that's somewhere these in-vehicle ads could appear appealing. It's unclear where drivers will fit into all of this. Notice, it is unclear where drivers will fit into all of this. Lyft said that a portion of the revenue from its display and tablets ads will go to its drivers. Listen, the driver will figure out after 1 month if he's going to rip those screens out, right? Because if you are not taking care of these drivers, let me make this plain and simple here, Uber and Lyft and other companies. If you intend to use the vehicle and you do not pay the driver accordingly, we rip out those display ads. We take that thing off the top of the roof. If you're not paying us, we do not allow you to use it in our cars, period. Still, the advertising windfall likely won't be significant for drivers in the beginning, says Jeremy Goldman, Director of Marketing and Commerce Briefings at Inside Intelligence, noting that as ad sales shoot up, giving drivers a unique revenue source, companies could use that growth as reasoning to keep wages low. Wow. I don't even expect that to happen all that soon. Acknowledging that it takes time to build market share and developing the technology, it's really much more of a tactic to say, look, what are we doing for you? We're buying you into this whole program. Kapoor argues that the ads could do the exact opposite, providing another mechanism by which rideshare companies will be forced to compete for drivers. There's going to be a demand-supply issue between the two companies, and they would have to fight. So I would imagine if one does it and it works and provides more income for drivers, everybody's going to rush to that because they don't want to be the one. They don't want to be the one in one place that the drivers don't want to use anymore. That could cripple the entire core business. So they're going to have to fight for you, ladies and gentlemen. They will have to fight for you, the driver. They will have to pay you. If they don't pay you, we take those ads out, period. Your comments, please.